So Ben Shapiro here is reacting to what he calls a concerted effort from the ultra-isolationists and people that often express serious hostility to Israel and American support for Israel, where they basically describe anything that Trump does that involves himself in foreign conflicts as being anti-MAGA, anti-America first. It doesn't represent what the Trump movement is all about. Here, Ben perfectly unpacks this. This is about relation to the Ukraine war, but we hear the exact same language with regard to Israel. And it's so important to understand that Trump's doctrine is not isolationism, just as it also isn't the extreme opposite of that, which means like radical interventionism everywhere. It's about strategic involvement where you can get clearly positive outcomes through some limited involvement. Here, Ben Shapiro goes after Marjorie Taylor Greene for her just nonsensical narrative around this. Really important to understand this. Have a watch.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is now criticizing President Trump. She said, by now, the neocons and establishment Republicans have hijacked MAGA. President Trump should have some words for her, honestly. As a reminder, in September 2023, I forced the separate vote on the $300 million in the DoD approps for Ukraine. Here's the vote record results. Republicans, yay, 101 for funding to Ukraine, nay, 117 against funding to Ukraine. Democrats, the supposed anti-war party, yay, 210 for funding to Ukraine, nay, 0 against funding to Ukraine. Funding war in foreign countries is not what we voted for, and America still funds NATO. So if NATO is buying American weapons, we are still paying for it. Okay, first of all, we're not the only funders of NATO. This has been one of President Trump's big pushes, is to get the NATO countries to spend more of their GDP on national defense. So they are, in fact, going to pay us for those weapons. But beyond that, who the hell does she think that establishment Republicans have hijacked? Do you mean the president has hijacked the movement that he built, and of which you are an obscure member, Congresswoman? Is that what you mean there? I understand that your bizarre speculation about space lasers may make you think that you are the leader of the MAGA movement. I'm just wondering what evidence you have that is the case, particularly given the fact that Republicans now widely support the president's decisions on this particular matter. Echelon Insights poll came out yesterday. A new opinion poll on whether President Trump should send U.S. weapon systems to Ukraine. Support, 65%. This is among Trump voters. Oppose, 22%. You're in the 22%, Congresswoman. So I'm wondering just what you mean has hijacked MAGA. This sort of obnoxious attempt to rewrite what MAGA is in favor of your own political priors is really sort of amazing. Marjorie.
Now, this particular point that Ben just made at the end here, we discussed in a lot more detail on a recent interview I did with Josh Hammer, who just debated Dave Smith, who, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene, is deeply hostile to Israel, to any American, or rather America's support for Israel, and any American involvement in other conflicts, even where they can, number one, directly help, and number two, it's in clear strategic interest to America. And so Josh actually unpacks his debate strategy, which was precisely as Ben said, to highlight that what Dave and Marjorie Taylor Greene are expressing actually isn't representative of the Trump doctrine. Whether you like the Trump doctrine or not, the Trump doctrine basically says to expect America to be involved in overturning regimes and long-term involvement, it gets so messy. Sometimes it's completely impractical. Often, our charity has to start at home. We can't afford to do that. But when you have matters where there's clear strategic interests, Russian expansion or Israel, which is the most critical ally and shared moral values, are coming under attack, and you have an opportunity to be involved. And by the way, I'm not getting into the specific details of policies on Ukraine, talking more here about Israel now. But the narrative goes as follows, that if you have strategic interest and there's a way in which you can be involved in a limited way and it can do a strong moral good as well as strategic benefit, the Trump doctrine says, do it. And so Josh Hammer explains that in our interview, which you can find on our YouTube channel, and I really encourage you to watch. But there's also something else that we've been showcasing recently that's also really important for you to watch. So have a watch of this. Before we finish, I just want to share with you something really important. We are told that Israel's actions are the cause of the Israeli-Arab conflict, but we've just released a groundbreaking documentary proving that Arab Islamic Jew hatred far predates Israel's re-establishment. This is a critical fact that everyone needs to learn about. Have a watch of our trailer for our new JTV Plus documentary entitled Arab Anti-Semitism Before Israel's Re-Establishment. Picture yourself, it's 1834 and you're a Jew living in Tzfat, which is a northern city in Israel, then under the Ottoman Empire. Your family is part of this ancient city's spiritual heart for generations. You study Torah, you trade in the market, and live quietly among your Arab neighbours. But one day, a mob storms your street, shouting, "Kill the Jews!" Your home is looted, your synagogue burned, your loved ones beaten. This isn't about Israel. Israel won't exist for 114 years. This isn't about settlements, the IDF, or the 1948 displacements. This is raw, violent hatred aimed at you for being a Jew. And it's not just in Palestine, it's part of a centuries-old story of anti-Semitism woven into Arab and Islamic history, from the dawn of Islam to the streets of Hebron. The claim that this conflict began with Israel's creation, the Nakba, or modern policies, is a farce, a distortion that collapses under history's magnifying glass. Welcome to JTV Plus. I'm Ollie Annisfeld, and today we're uncovering a history too often buried, the relentless anti-Semitism among Arabs in Palestine before 1948, rooted in a broader Arab and Muslim hostility that began with Islam's inception in the 7th century. To watch this JTV Plus documentary and access much more premium content, click on the link in the video description.